My husband, Samuel Crawford, made an excuse about attending a company business meeting and refused to participate in our daughter's school activity. He also suggested that we should not participate either. Seeing my daughter's disappointment, I decided to take her myself. As soon as we entered the school, I spotted Samuel sitting on the stage with his ex-girlfriend, Monica Sterling, and her son. They looked intimate, appearing every bit like a perfect family of three. Samuel spoke confidently into the microphone about achieving family harmony and career success. Throughout his speech, he occasionally exchanged glances and smiles with Monica. The audience applauded enthusiastically. Samuel's expression grew increasingly smug, and even the little boy beside him wore an arrogant look. Soon the Q&A session came. I then grabbed the microphone and asked, "Mr. Crawford, when did you have a son? Does your wife know about this?" As soon as I finished speaking, the students and parents seated below erupted in whispers, shooting judgmental and disdainful glances my way. Who does she think she is? So disrespectful. She's clearly jealous of Mrs. Crawford and desperate for Mr. Crawford's attention. With him running a billion-dollar company, it's hardly surprising that some women fantasize about becoming his mistress. Absolutely shameless. When Samuel Crawford spotted me from the stage, a flash of panic crossed his face, though he concealed it well. Monica Sterling, on the other hand, could not maintain her composure. She put on a show of indignation and hurt. "Sam, what exactly is she implying?" I ignored her theatrics and kept my focus on Samuel. "Mr. Crawford, you still haven't answered my question." Samuel instinctively adjusted his glasses before pulling Monica and her son into an embrace for everyone to witness. "This is my answer to you." Monica's eyes filled with emotion as she deepened the embrace without hesitation. The crowd below erupted with sounds of admiration. "Now that's true love. He's flaunting their happiness in public. Mr. Crawford is truly the perfect man. Who'd expect such a wealthy man to turn out to be so devoted to his wife and son?" Their looks toward me grew even more contemptuous. "Tried to stir up trouble and got put in your place, didn't you? How dare she even compare herself to Mrs. Crawford? Everyone knows Mrs. Crawford holds an executive position at Luminous Enterprise and is Mr. Crawford's capable partner. Some opportunistic mistress could never measure up." Just then, my phone vibrated with a message from Samuel. "Claire, don't misunderstand. I promised Monica I'd pretend to be Milo's father for a day. The boy has never had a father. It's quite sad. But you not only ignored my wishes, but you're even humiliating me in public." "Stop making a scene." I could not suppress a cold smile. He was merely a son-in-law who married into the Beck family, and whether he could continue living off our wealth depended entirely on my approval. Luminous Enterprise was founded by my grandfather, and I now controlled 75% of its shares. I quickly messaged the HR and legal departments at Luminous Enterprise. Today, I would strip him of his position as general manager in front of everyone. My daughter, Kaylee Beck, angrily spoke up as she was unable to bear the insults directed at me. "That's nonsense. Samuel Crawford is my father, and my mom is his real wife. That woman is the mistress." The others burst into laughter, their tones growing increasingly mocking. "Like mother, like daughter. She's so young yet she's already trying to climb the social ladder with such devious intentions. Mr. Crawford is publicly showing his affection. How could their family of three possibly be fake?" Milo, who had come down from the stage, suddenly rushed over and glared at Kaylee. "Who are you calling a mistress? You and your mother are desperate to take our place, aren't you? How pathetic." As he moved to strike her, I swiftly blocked him. My gaze settled on Samuel's face a few steps away. "Samuel, I'm giving you one last chance. Are you going to explain yourself or not?" Samuel frowned at me before responding coldly. "I don't know you, miss. While I pride myself on my civility, I won't tolerate repeated slander against my wife and son. Our company's legal team isn't just for show." Kaylee puffed up with anger and disbelief. "Dad, what are you saying? You don't recognize me and Mom anymore?" The crowd around us burst into laughter. "Little girl, you're getting carried away with your act. Before Mr. Crawford takes more drastic measures, you should grab your mother and leave. Luminous Enterprise isn't something ordinary people like you can mess with." Even Kaylee's classmates began to show their disgust. "Kaylee, how can you be so revolting? You seem so well-mannered, but you're actually so conniving." Kaylee grabbed Samuel's sleeve, pleading to him. "Dad, what's wrong with you? Why are you saying you don't know us? Stand up for me and Mom. Can't you hear how horribly they're talking about Mom?" Samuel roughly shook off our daughter's hand, causing her to stumble backward. Her face crumpled with hurt. Meanwhile, Monica interlaced her fingers with Samuel's, giving me a blatantly provocative look. I immediately understood. Monica knew exactly who I was. I then quickly reached for Kaylee's hand. "Kaylee, remember my words. From now on, you don't have a father anymore." As I finished speaking, Samuel's brow furrowed almost imperceptibly. Moments later, my phone vibrated again. "Claire, I've already explained to you that I'm just being Milo's father for one day. Where's your empathy? If I acknowledged your identity, how would Monica and Milo face everyone afterward? How would Milo continue to go to school? If you hadn't insisted on making a scene, none of this would have happened. You deserve the criticism you're getting. Take our daughter home and reflect on your behavior." I could not help but smirk coldly. It seemed his time as general manager had made him forget who had granted him that power in the first place. At that moment, the teacher organizing the activity hurried over to mediate, announcing that the fun run activity was about to begin at the sports field. As we walked toward the stadium, Monica brushed past me with a smug smile. "Trophy wives like you are meant to be discarded. Only career-oriented women like me deserve successful entrepreneurs like Samuel. If you're smart, you'll step aside voluntarily." I let out a cold laugh. "Career-oriented woman," she said. HR had just messaged me confirming that Monica had been promoted through Samuel's connections and did not even understand the basics of her job at the company. Apparently, Monica only knew me as Samuel's wife but had no idea that I was the true leader of Luminous Enterprise. The company's HR and legal legal departments informed me they had drafted termination and divorce papers and were driving over now. I remained here for one purpose. That was to publicly tear apart Samuel and Monica's hypocritical facade in front of everyone. I was out to get justice for me and Kaylee. Meanwhile, Samuel and Monica were escorted to the VIP viewing stand, where school officials and parents fawned over them with flattery. Samuel tilted his chin upward with an air of superiority, every feature of his face radiating smugness. At the same time, Kaylee had taken her position on the track. She managed a weak smile in my direction, and I waved back in encouragement. In an instant, disaster struck. Milo suddenly rushed onto Kaylee's lane and deliberately stuck out his leg. Caught completely off guard, Kaylee fell forward violently. I raced over to her. Kaylee's face was contorted in pain as large beads of cold sweat formed on her forehead. Both of her knees were bloody and raw. My heart clenched with anguish. The culprit wore a triumphant expression. Milo laughed victoriously before saying, "That'll teach you and your mother to know your place. Will you still dare to challenge us now?" Furious, I moved to slap him, but Samuel blocked me, positioning himself protectively in front of the mother and son. "Enough, they're just children playing around. Are you really going to make a big deal of this as an adult?" I trembled with rage. "Playing? Open your damn eyes and look. Do you see how much pain she's in?" This was clearly deliberate harm. Monica laughed softly, pulling out a wad of cash from her purse and tossing it onto Kaylee. Her eyes, however, were fixed on me. "Isn't money what you and your daughter have gone to all this trouble for? Here's compensation for her injury. Take it and get lost." The watching parents broke into laughter, looking at Kaylee and me with contempt while continuing to flatter Samuel and Monica. "See that? That's what happens when you offend powerful people. You just have to swallow your pride no matter how much it hurts. Those two brought this on themselves by provoking Mr. Crawford's family first. They deserve everything they're getting. It would be justified even if her leg was broken. Mrs. Crawford has already thrown money at you, now hurry up and leave." As Kaylee was being treated by the school nurse, she looked to Samuel for help, but he turned away. The light in her eyes gradually dimmed. She took my hand and said, "Mom, you were right. From today onward, I don't have a father anymore."